The stars were quiet, too quiet. Commander Elias Hart floated in the cold black of space, his hands gripping the controls of the crippled ship. Endurance. He had been alone for months, drifting farther from Earth than anyone had ever gone. The ship's metal groaned like it was alive, warning him of dangers he could not fix. Systems failed one by one, leaving him with only the bare essentials to survive. Every day he looked at the endless expanse of darkness and wondered if he would ever see home again. Elias remembered the last moments with his crew, the explosion, the panic, the chaos. He had tried to save them, but the void does not forgive mistakes. Now he was alone, one man, one heartbeat against an endless galaxy that did not care for him. He clutched the ship's console and whispered, "I will make it. I have to." His voice was weak, but determination burned inside him like a quiet flame. Back on Earth, news of his disappearance spread like wildfire. Families, friends, and even strangers held their breath. Elias Hart was not just a soldier, he was a symbol. A man who had carried humanity's pride into the unknown, facing dangers no one else would dare. And now he was gone. The High Command gathered urgently, faces pale, voices trembling. Some argued that sending a rescue was too dangerous, that one man could not justify risking entire fleets. But General Arya Voss refused to listen to doubts. She stood at the center of the council chamber, her uniform pressed, eyes sharp as lasers.
"He is not just one man," she said, her voice steady.
"He carries the courage of every human who dreams beyond our world. If we lose him, we lose more than a soldier, we lose our hope." Her words echoed through the room. Every member of the council felt it. Even in the cold logic of space strategy, emotion had power. And so the decision was made. Fleets were mobilized. Ships of all sizes carrying weapons, supplies, and hope rose into the atmosphere and spread toward the stars. Humanity had faced many dangers before, but never like this. One man stranded in the heart of a hostile galaxy, and an entire planet refusing to abandon him. Elias did not know any of this. He floated in silence, repairing what he could, rationing supplies, calculating distances with fading instruments. Every day was a struggle. Every day he faced asteroids, cosmic storms, and alien patrols that had been hunting any human presence in this sector. His fingers were raw from constant work, his eyes red from lack of sleep. Yet he never gave up. The thought of Earth, the blue and green planet he loved, was always with him. It was the memory of home that kept him alive when everything else tried to kill him. Late one night, or what he thought was night in the emptiness of space, he sent a message. A small signal, weak and trembling, carrying only a single line. "I'm alive. For now." He didn't know who would receive it, or if it would even survive the journey across light years. But sending it made him feel less alone. Somewhere someone might hear him. Somewhere Earth might still be listening. On the other side of the galaxy, a young communications officer at Earth Command picked up the faint pulse of his message. Her hand shook as she traced the signal. "It's him," she whispered, almost afraid to say it aloud. "He's alive." The word spread quickly. The command rooms, once filled with tension, now buzzed with renewed energy. Every ship, every soldier, every scientist knew the unspoken truth. Elias Hart could not be left behind. Not one human being could bear it. Elias floated, unaware of the hope growing for him light years away. His eyes traced the nebulae, the cold beauty of dying stars, and the endless darkness. His heart ached with loneliness, but it also pulsed with stubborn defiance. He whispered to himself, "I will survive, I have to. Earth will find me." And somewhere in that infinite darkness the faintest glimmer appeared, a promise, a pulse, a hope. Earth had begun its journey. One man lost among billions of stars, and one planet, ready to burn worlds if it meant bringing him home. Elias did not yet know that his life was about to ignite a war, a rescue, and a story that would be told for generations. He was just one man, but Earth had heard his call, and nothing in the galaxy would stop them. Back on Earth, the council chambers were tense. The brightest minds, The most experienced commanders and politicians from every continent had gathered. Holographic maps of distant star systems floated in the air, showing where Elias Hart might be trapped. Red blips marked hostile planets glowing like wounds across the galaxy. Some council members shook their heads. "He is just one man," one advisor said, voice heavy with worry. "The cost? Entire fleets. Entire worlds. For one man?" General Arya Voss did not flinch. She leaned forward, her hands gripping the edge of the table. "He is not just one man," she said. Her voice cut through the murmurs like a blade. "He is the symbol of who we are. He is humanity's courage, humanity's hope. If we let him die, we show the galaxy that we abandon our own. We are better than that. We are stronger than that." Silence fell in the room. Her words sank deep. Every officer, every scientist, every diplomat knew she was right. Elias Hart was a man, yes, but he carried the pride of a species that had reached for the stars despite all odds. And Earth would not give up on him, not now, not ever. Orders were given. Fleets were mobilized. Ships of every size and design took off from orbiting spaceports, leaving trails of light in the sky. Pilots ran checks, engineers loaded weapons, and soldiers prepared for the long, dangerous journey ahead. Worlds were evacuated and fortified in case conflict spread. Earth had decided they would fight to the edge of the galaxy if it meant bringing one man home. In the orbital command center, young Lieutenant Mara Chen watched the fleets leave, her fingers trembling on the console. She had never met Elias, yet she felt a connection as if she had known him all her life. "We'll get him," she whispered, eyes locked on the distant blips. "We'll bring him home." Her voice was quiet but full of resolve. Around her, the room buzzed with tension and excitement. Every human being involved in the mission knew the stakes. Failure was unthinkable, but victory was within reach if they believed. Meanwhile, light years away, Elias worked tirelessly aboard the Endurance. He patched what he could, calculated every jump, and rationed the last of his supplies. He had no way of knowing that a fleet larger than anything the galaxy had seen was moving toward him, yet somehow he felt it. Hope had a strange weight, and he could feel it pressing in, soft but relentless, telling him not to give up. Elias paused, looking out into the dark expanse. Stars twinkled like distant fires, but something in the distance made him pause. A faint shimmer, too regular to be natural. He adjusted his sensors, but the signal was weak, almost lost. "Earth," he whispered, heart racing. Could it be? Could someone really be coming? The thought made him shiver. Back on Earth, the human fleets encountered their first obstacles. Alien patrols, more advanced than expected, moved to intercept the approaching rescue ships. Commanders debated strategies, weighing lives against time. General Voss remained calm, her focus absolute. "Do not hesitate," she said. "For every second we delay, he drifts further. Push forward. Burn whatever stands in your way. He is worth every risk." Every fleet commander understood the unspoken meaning. Earth was willing to risk entire worlds to save one man. Entire planets were being prepared for retaliation. Humanity's engineers worked night and day, designing new weapons, faster ships, shields stronger than anything known before. The galaxy had underestimated humans before, but never like this. Elias, unaware of the scale of Earth's efforts, continued his lonely battle against the void. He repaired his ship's engines, patched leaks in the hull, and avoided hostile patrols with daring maneuvers. Every move felt like walking a knife's edge. He was tired, starving, and weary of endless darkness, yet he never gave in. Something inside him, the memory of home, of family, of Earth itself, kept him going, and Earth moved closer. Faster than anyone had predicted. Ships jumped across light years in synchronized precision. Weapons glowed in the blackness of space. Every captain, soldier, and engineer understood their mission was larger than war. It was faith in one man, faith in humanity itself. Lieutenant Mara Chen whispered again as she watched the fleets advance. "He will see us. He will know we are coming. He will know he is not alone." The words were simple, but they carried the weight of a planet's heart. Elias floated in the cold, unaware that the galaxy was about to witness the full power of humanity united. He was just one man, but Earth had made a promise. No matter the cost, no matter the danger, they would bring him home. And that promise was enough to keep him alive. The stars erupted in fire. Alien warships, dark and enormous, filled the space near the Orpheus sector. They were hunting humans, intercepting any sign of life, any trace of the lone man drifting through the galaxy. But Earth's fleets did not hesitate. Thousands of ships moved as one, their engines glowing like molten metal, cutting through the darkness with precision and purpose. Commander Elias Hart was unaware of the scale of what was coming. He floated in the Endurance, repairing a damaged sensor array, unaware that thousands of human ships were closing in to protect him. He had learned to survive alone, to fight, to maneuver through hostile territory. But now he felt something new, an instinct, a pull, a hope that he could not explain. Somewhere out there, Earth was reaching for him. The first contact was brutal. Alien warships opened fire, launching beams that tore through the void. The human fleets responded with coordinated fury. Lasers cut through the darkness, missiles flared across space, and explosions painted the void in colors both terrifying and beautiful. Planets in the sector shook under the fire. Every ship knew the cost, but none hesitated. They were fighting not just for survival, but for one man. Elias's heart pounded as he felt the shockwaves of the distant battle. Even through the hull of his battered ship, he could sense the violence, the fury, the determination of Earth. Tears welled in his eyes. He had spent months thinking he was alone, that he was forgotten, but now he realized something extraordinary. Humanity had not given up. Earth was coming. For him. He navigated through asteroid fields and the wreckage of enemy ships, his every maneuver precise, every decision critical. He saw the flashes of distant explosions and felt the vibrations through his ship's hull. Every pulse of energy, every roar of laser fire was a message. "We are here. We will not leave you." He whispered to himself, voice trembling. They came. They really came. Back in the fleets, Captain Ilias Moreno led the first wave. His ship cut through enemy lines like a blade, taking hits but pressing forward. "Protect the coordinates," he shouted. "We cannot fail him." Around him, hundreds of ships followed, their pilots risking everything. Entire worlds had been prepared, entire weapons unleashed just to reach one man lost among billions of stars. The aliens adapted quickly. They changed formations, fired larger beams, and tried to trap the human fleet. But Earth had planned for this. Fleets moved in perfect synchronization, shields overlapping, weapons covering every angle. The humans pressed forward, relentless, unyielding. Every attack they made, every sacrifice sent a message. They would not abandon one of their own. Elias felt a strange surge of energy as he piloted through the chaos. It was not just adrenaline, it was hope, pure and undeniable. He thought of Earth, of the blue planet he loved, of the people who refused to let him die alone. He tightened his grip on the controls and whispered, "I will survive. I must survive. For them." Then, for the first time in months, he allowed himself a moment of relief. A distant flash, the coordinated strike of human ships, destroyed the lead alien vessel. He watched it break apart, the enemy retreating in confusion. The battle was far from over, but the tide was turning. Earth had made its presence known. They were not coming to negotiate. They were coming to save him. On the command deck of the flagship, General Aria Voss watched the battle unfold. Her eyes reflected the explosions in the void. "He is still alive," she said softly, "and we will not let him die." Every crew member aboard her ship understood the meaning. They were part of something larger than themselves. Every human being fighting in the sector was a heartbeat of Earth's determination. Elias, exhausted and battered, looked out at the stars. For months he had thought he was alone. For months he had feared the void itself. Now, through the smoke and fire of distant battles, he saw proof of something incredible. Humanity never left one of its own behind. He allowed himself a faint smile, knowing that survival was no longer just a dream. Earth was coming, and he would see it. As the first strike ended, both fleets paused to regroup. The aliens were wary, shocked by the human fleet's coordination and courage. The humans, though battered and bruised, pressed on. One thing was certain: the galaxy had underestimated humanity. One man was lost among the stars, but an entire planet had risen to bring him home. And that was only the beginning. Elias Hart floated alone in the wreckage of space, his ship scarred and battered from the first strike. The explosions of the distant battle still echoed faintly through the hull. He stared at the stars, once beautiful and silent, now seeming like distant witnesses to his struggle. Each flicker reminded him of the vast emptiness surrounding him, the loneliness pressing like a weight on his chest. He was only one man, and yet the survival of so much depended on him. The Endurance groaned, warning him of failing systems. He patched holes, rerouted power, and rationed supplies with meticulous care. He had become a master of survival, a dancer on the edge of disaster. And yet, every repair, every calculation, carried with it the burden of understanding that one wrong move could end everything. He had no crew, no friends, no backup, only himself, and the distant hope that Earth would not forget him. Memories of home filled his mind. The blue oceans, green forests, laughter and warmth, all seemed like a dream he could barely touch. Elias clenched his fists. "I must make it," he whispered. "I cannot fail. They are coming. They are coming for me." He closed his eyes, letting the memory of Earth's determination fuel his resolve. He was alone, yes, but he was not powerless. Yet loneliness cut deeper than any wound. Nights, or what passed for night in the endless void, stretched endlessly. He spoke to the shadows of his empty ship, imagining the crew who were lost. He remembered Captain Lorne's voice, Lieutenant Mara's laugh, and Engineer Halleck's stubborn optimism. He whispered their names into the silence. Each memory was a lifeline, each memory a reminder of what he fought for. He was one man, but the weight of countless others rode on his shoulders. Elias navigated through a dangerous asteroid field, the rocks jagged like broken teeth. His hands moved with precision, muscles tense, sweat forming on his brow. He felt the Endurance tremble under every collision with space debris. He closed his eyes briefly, took a breath, and reminded himself, "I am strong enough. I have to be." The void did not forgive weakness, and yet his human heart burned with determination. Somewhere beyond the stars, Earth's fleet continued to advance. He could not see them, but he could feel the change in the sector. Alien patrols were being pushed back, destroyed, or retreating in confusion. A strange warmth filled him. Hope was no longer abstract, it had become real. Earth was coming. He had fought alone for months, but soon he would be part of something larger than himself. Something unstoppable. Still, guilt gnawed at him. He had survived while his crew had perished. He had dodged death while entire civilizations had been destroyed in the surrounding sectors. Could one man's life justify such destruction? Could his survival outweigh the loss of worlds? Elias's chest ached with the questions. Every star he passed seemed to whisper reminders of what had been lost. Yet he forced himself forward step by step, calculation by calculation. He could not stop. Not now. In a rare moment of quiet, he allowed himself to look at the flickering lights of a distant planet, barely surviving the chaos of the battle. He felt a connection, not just to Earth, but to every life that had been touched by the galaxy's violence. He understood in that moment that survival was not selfish. Fighting to live, to return, to be found was not just for him. It was for all who had believed in him, for all who had not yet given up hope. Elias spoke into the empty comms channel, even though he knew no one could hear him yet. "I am ready," he said softly. "I will survive. I will reach you." His voice trembled, but it carried an unwavering truth. Somewhere in the void, Earth's fleet pressed closer, ready to meet him, ready to bring him home. The weight on his shoulders was immense, but he bore it. One man, yes, but the heartbeat of an entire species relied on him, and he would not fail. He looked forward, eyes fixed on the dark horizon of space. The void was vast, unforgiving, and full of danger, yet within it burned a spark of hope. A spark that Earth had ignited across light years of distance. Elias understood in that moment that the universe had not yet claimed him. He was one man, but one man could endure. One man could survive. One man could inspire the courage of an entire world. And so, with trembling hands and a resolute heart, Elias Hart piloted the Endurance into the unknown, carrying humanity's hope with him. He was just one man, but soon he would see that he was never truly alone. The darkness of space was alive with the hum of weapons, engines, and the silent tension of countless lives. Elias Hart's heart pounded as the Endurance drifted closer to the core of the enemy sector. His sensors picked up the largest fleet he had ever seen. Alien warships lined up like black mountains against the stars, their weapons ready to strike. One wrong move could destroy him, end his mission, and break Earth's hope. But hope had already begun its work. From beyond the distance, faint glimmers appeared. Small, almost invisible streaks of light moving faster than any alien technology could match. The first wave of Earth's fleet had arrived. They moved in perfect formation like a single organism, engines burning through space, shields glowing against the void. Elias watched them appear and felt a surge he had not known in months. Relief, awe, and a strange warmth in his chest. Earth had come. The alien warlord realized humanity's strategy too late. His massive fleet shifted in surprise, trying to block the incoming human ships. But humans were relentless. They had fought for months, sacrificed worlds, and trained for this single moment. Their weapons glowed with deadly precision. Their shields shimmered with unbreakable coordination, and their courage radiated in waves that no alien machine could measure. Elias gritted his teeth and tightened his grip on the controls. He could feel the pulse of the battle through the hull of the Endurance. Each explosion in the distance, each flare of a destroyed ship carried a message directly to him. We are here. We will not leave you. You are not alone. The first clash was deafening even in the vacuum of space. Laser beams tore through the darkness. Missiles lit trails of fire across the void, and explosions scattered debris like shattered stars. Elias maneuvered through the chaos, dodging debris and enemy fire with precision born of desperation. Every second was a gamble, every movement a dance with death. Yet with every passing moment, he saw proof that Earth's promise was real. From the flagship, General Aria Voss watched the battle unfold. Her eyes were steady, but her heart raced. Every human ship represented countless lives and hope, all united to save one man. Hold the line, she commanded, voice calm but full of intensity. Do not let him fall. He is worth everything. Every world we must risk, every life we must protect, he is worth it. Her words were repeated across the fleet, a mantra that carried courage into every ship, every pilot, every soldier fighting in the void. Elias's thoughts raced. He had been alone for so long, facing death without a single ally, and now, here it was, the full force of Earth itself, burning across the galaxy to reach him. He felt a lump in his throat, emotion threatening to overwhelm him. He whispered to himself, voice raw, I am alive, because they believe in me. The alien fleet was massive, but the humans were faster, smarter, and fearless. Ships moved in perfect coordination, shields overlapping, weapons firing in deadly accuracy. The tide of the battle shifted. Alien vessels were destroyed one by one, their formations broken. And through it all, Elias navigated the Endurance, dodging and weaving, knowing that each move brought him closer to the fleet that had come to save him. Then came the moment of realization. Earth was not just sending ships, they were sending their entire spirit. Every vessel, every weapon, every pilot carried the heartbeat of humanity. Elias's loneliness, which had pressed on him like a stone for months, began to lift. He was no longer one man fighting the galaxy alone. He was part of something larger. He was the symbol, the beacon, and the reason they had come. A massive alien warship loomed in front of him, larger than any he had faced before. Its weapons locked onto the Endurance, ready to end him. Elias swallowed fear and remembered Earth's fleet moving behind him, covering his path. He adjusted the controls, dodged the incoming fire, and sent a pulse to the nearest human ship. "I'm ready," he whispered. "I'm ready to fight." The human fleet surged forward like a tidal wave. Explosions tore through alien defenses, shields shimmered and flared. Lasers and missiles struck with precise timing, overwhelming the enemy. Elias felt the weight of his months of struggle ease, replaced with determination and awe. Earth had burned worlds, risked lives, and faced the impossible, all to bring one man home. And for the first time in months, Elias allowed himself to hope fully, without hesitation. He realized something that would stay with him forever. He was one man, yes, but one man could inspire the courage of a planet. One man could remind humanity of what it meant to be unstoppable. One man could show the galaxy that Earth never abandoned its own. Elias Hart's hands shook as he piloted the Endurance through the chaos of the final battle. Alien ships exploded around him, debris spinning like deadly comets through the void. Every move he made was precise, every decision a balance between life and death. He had survived alone for months, but now, with Earth's fleet pushing the enemy back, survival felt almost real, almost within reach. Through the ship's damaged sensors, he saw them. The human ships forming a path through the chaos, shields glowing, engines burning with relentless energy. They had come all this way for him, fought across light years, sacrificed countless lives, and faced impossible odds. His chest tightened and a lump formed in his throat. For the first time in months, he allowed himself to feel relief. He was not alone. The alien warlord realized the humans' determination too late. His massive fleet, once confident, now faltered under the combined force of Earth's ships. Explosions lit the darkness, tearing apart massive vessels, scattering the enemy into disarray. Elias could hear the faint hum of communication as Earth's pilots coordinated with incredible precision. Every strike, every maneuver, every sacrifice was meant to clear a path to him. He guided the Endurance through the last wave of enemy fire, heart racing, sweat streaking his face. His hands were raw from hours of constant movement, his eyes red from exhaustion, but he pushed forward. He knew that every second counted. Behind him, Earth's fleet held the line, shielding him, covering his path. The enormity of their effort sank into him, and he realized he had never truly been alone. A docking beam extended from the flagship. Elias's breath caught. The beam shimmered like a bridge of light, a lifeline reaching across the void. Tears blurred his vision. He had spent months in darkness, drifting, fighting, surviving, thinking he was abandoned. And yet here it was, proof of humanity's promise. Proof that Earth had not forgotten him. Docking sequence engaged, came a calm voice over the comms. Lieutenant Mara Chen, coordinating from the flagship, guided him gently. "You've done it, Commander. We've got you. You're coming home." Elias allowed himself a shaky laugh, the sound breaking through the tension that had weighed on him for so long. I can't believe it," he whispered, voice trembling. His hands worked the controls carefully, aligning the Endurance with the beam. Every movement felt surreal. He had survived so much, but nothing compared to this moment, the moment of being saved. As the Endurance connected with the beam, energy flowed, stabilizing his ship and pulling him toward safety. The feeling was overwhelming. Every scar on the ship, every bruise on his body, every sleepless night and desperate calculation, all of it led to this moment. He was alive, and it was because of them. Earth, a planet that had burned worlds, risked lives, and faced the impossible, had come for him. The alien fleet, now scattered and disorganized, could only watch. They had underestimated humanity's determination, the unyielding will to protect one of their own. Elias looked back briefly at the chaos he had survived and whispered, "We are unstoppable. They will never leave us behind." The beam stabilized fully, and the Endurance was pulled into the flagship. The moment he stepped onto the deck, he was surrounded by faces he did not know but who had risked everything for him. Pilots, engineers, soldiers, civilians all gazed at him with awe, relief, and pride. He felt tears stream down his face. He had fought alone for so long, but now he saw the full strength of humanity united. General Arya Voss approached him, eyes fierce and proud. "Welcome home, Commander," she said simply. Her words carried the weight of every life, every sacrifice, every world risked to bring him back. Elias nodded, too overwhelmed to speak, but his heart swelled with gratitude and wonder. He walked through the deck, feeling the hum of engines, the warmth of human presence, and the undeniable truth that he had been saved not by luck or chance, but by the relentless courage of a planet. He realized then that he was more than one man. He was the reflection of a species that refused to abandon its own. Looking out through the viewports at the stars he had called home and the ships that had saved him, Elias' heart whispered to the void, voice full of emotion, "I am home." Because we never gave up. And somewhere in the endless darkness of space, Earth's heartbeat pulsed strong and steady, unbroken and unstoppable. One man had survived, but it was the courage of an entire planet that had brought him back. Elias' heart stepped onto Earth's soil for the first time in over a year. The air felt impossibly warm, the gravity heavier than the void he had survived for months. Every step seemed surreal, yet every heartbeat reminded him that he was alive. He looked around at the crowds, people cheering, waving flags, embracing each other, tears streaming down faces. He had imagined this moment countless times, but now it was real. He had come home. The city lights glimmered like stars fallen to earth, and for the first time Elias truly understood what had been sacrificed for him. Worlds had been risked, fleets had burned across the galaxy, lives had been spent in the hope of bringing one man back. And here he was, alive, whole, and standing among those who had never given up. Children ran past him, their eyes wide with wonder. Soldiers nodded in quiet pride. Civilians whispered his name as if speaking it could somehow keep him safe forever. Elias felt a lump in his throat. He had survived countless battles in the void, but nothing compared to the flood of emotions now. Hope, gratitude, sorrow, relief, they all collided inside him. General Arya Voss joined him once more, her expression calm but full of emotion. "You are home," she said simply, placing a hand on his shoulder. Elias nodded, unable to speak. Words felt meaningless compared to what he had lived through, compared to the courage of an entire planet that had burned through worlds to bring him back. He walked through the streets, watching people celebrate, feeling the pulse of humanity beneath his feet. He thought of the alien fleets, the battles, the endless void, and he realized something profound. Earth had proven something to the galaxy, and to him. Humanity never abandoned its own. Not one man, not one life would be left behind. That was the true strength of his people. Elias remembered the months of loneliness in the Endurance. He remembered staring into the void, wondering if anyone would come. And now he understood it was not about one person. It was about what humanity stood for. Courage, determination, unity, hope. These were the weapons stronger than any laser, faster than any engine. They were what had brought him home. He paused on a hill overlooking the city. The sun was rising, painting the sky with colors he had forgotten in the darkness of space. He breathed in deeply, feeling the life of the planet around him. Children laughed, birds sang, machines hummed, and humans went about their lives, yet each movement carried the weight of a species that had fought across the galaxy for one man. He smiled, a genuine, unbroken smile. Elias thought of the crew he had lost, of the civilizations that had been destroyed, of the countless sacrifices made. Their memories weighed on him, but they also gave him strength. He knew that survival was never just about him. It was about the people who had believed in him, about the world that refused to abandon him, about the hope that would inspire future generations. He raised his gaze to the stars. The galaxy stretched endlessly, full of danger and mystery, but also full of promise. and he knew that humanity had shown the universe something powerful. One man may be small, but an entire planet united behind him was unstoppable. He whispered, voice soft but firm, "I am home, because we never gave up." As he turned back toward the city, children ran to him, reaching out, wanting to touch the man who had survived the impossible. Soldiers saluted. Civilians bowed their heads in respect, and the cheers of a planet rose around him like a wave. Elias felt a warmth he had never felt in the emptiness of space, the warmth of a world that had burned through the stars to bring him back, and for the first time, he truly understood the meaning of home. It was not just a place. It was the people, the courage, the unbroken will of a species that refused to let one of its own vanish into the void. Elias Hart, who had been just one man, became a symbol of humanity's spirit, and Earth, his home, had proven that nothing in the galaxy could break that spirit. He stood there, surrounded by the love and hope of his people, and knew this was not the end. It was a beginning. Humanity had burned worlds to bring him home, and now, with the lessons of courage and unity etched into his heart, he was ready to face whatever the universe would throw next. Elias Hart, the lone man who survived the void, looked at Earth and whispered one last time, with all the strength and emotion in his heart, "We are humanity, and we never abandon our own."